Hi, welcome. Today we will talk about the transit of Ketu when it meets the natal planets. So, what happens is mentioned in earlier transit videos. It's like two energies coming together. That energy, like Ketu, and let's say the sun, we match the living and non living significations of both planets. When we talked about Rahu, we discussed expansion, amplification, and exploration. Talk Rahu. I want to know everything related to this planet. It needs to be enhanced, both the good and the bad, just like Ketu. That planet might be overlooked. Knowledge. Because they talk about going inward, letting go, and surrendering. They don't mean anyone else. Ketu says, I am my own fave. When we look at the transit, obviously, friendship and enmity, in which sign it is transiting and in which house it is happening, that is important. But what is more important? Sometimes we use that negative energy to our benefit, whether it's negative or positive energy. Let's take an example. If someone's moon is in a water sign, in which house this moksha track is located, and the quality of the chart is good for spiritual enhancement. Now, Ketu transits over the moon, so that letting go will enhance the ability where spiritual advancement will be at another level. And if someone's moon is in the karma house, in an earth element sign, where there is a lot of desire to achieve, to complete things, it's a moon with Venus or Mercury. Here, there is no nature of letting go. Right now, Ketu's transit over your moon, and Venus is telling you that you have to let go, whether you want to or not. Ketu is making you release, and it's bringing an end, a complete ending. So, always see what is the quality of the chart. Vat met once. Now, is Ketu supporting him or not? Let's start with Ketu transit and metal planets. There are good things in transit and there are bad things too. First of all, which is stronger in the birth chart and the transit? The planet below is stronger. Or is Ketu stronger? Who is coming? And which supportive planets are they getting? Ketu is transiting the sun. What supportive planets are there in the plan of the sun? They have friends like Jupiter and Mercury. If they have friends, they are supportive planets. So Ketu is very strong, sitting over the sun itself. So Ketu will positively utilize the energy of the sun. Otherwise, it can show one negative energy. Then after that, which sign is Ketu transiting and which planets is it meeting? That is equally important. Remember, Ketu does well in fire and water element signs. What is the nature of friendship and enmity of Ketu with those planets? You need to look at that. What is Ketu? If we understand what a planet signifies, so it becomes very easy to connect and tell something. Like Ketu always talks about letting go, about abandonment, it disconnects, whether it's duties or responsibilities. If it meets Saturn, it gives hallucinations. Both Rahu and Ketu can give hallucinations. Ketu maintains grace, gives a tendency towards renunciation, and is a factor for nothing less than disputes and instability. It also contributes to litigation, hiding things, and wandering around because Ketu doesn't have a head. So, people who have Ketu, if they are not spiritually inclined, they become very much aimless. In life, always have somebody to directly guide you. Questioning one's own religion, sense of religion, but questioning one's own work, asking why to do this. If you have to do it, what are the papers? And big reasons behind it creates confusion and self-doubt, leading to a finish or an end, and their ending tends to be abrupt. Bringing in center thoughts that are very different from society, because Rahu and Ketu are foreign planets that spiritually transform. They show space and cuts. Any kind of surgery can happen on that body part. For example, if Ketu is transiting over the sun and the sun represents the heart or the eyes, then there could be surgery related to that body part. Ketu represents mass structure. Ketu is the king of the occult and the mystical world, especially when it's a good Ketu. Their intuitive power will be very strong, and they can give good predictions and guidance just by reading a little. Ketui also denotes maternal grandparents. Let's talk about the sun. The sun represents the father, fame, rewards, comments, help, and reputation. Now, if the sun meets with a transit, so in the chart, we refer to this as Pitra Dosh, meaning that if the sun is in conjunction with Rahu, it indicates Pitra Dosh. Now, if there are more malefic effects happening, it can create distance or misunderstandings with father figures, because these are both karmic planets. So it could be that time when you have to fulfill your past karma, because Ketu talks about the past. Ketu indicates what we have already achieved and completed in the past. Ketu is like a flag, a banner that we have sung about, that we have already completed. But not to get that, a good Ketu indicates that you have already completed something. One bad, Ketu has one bad, and North Node, well, yes, Ketu indicates that there was a task in the past that was a purpose which was not accomplished. You have come, because of that, you are going to complete with the help of Rahu. So, Ketu is always something. Accomplished Ketu, back Ketu, and we, Ketu, don't know what we wanted to do. So, this could be that time. When there is some karma with the father or father, like people which needs to be completed, then there can be a problem with them, or they may have a problem. Because the energy of Rahu and Ketu is never segmented, there are options and variations in it. So they should always stay serious about unusual brilliance. Because where Ketu is associated with foolishness or stupidity, Ketu says, I know everything, I have seen everything. So when Ketu connects with your soul, it could be that you start thinking and behaving very differently. You begin to see or understand things at a level that no one else does. This is our purposes, vision, and Ketu is not acknowledging it. The time and other combinations. Supporting this could be when you have no clear papers and reasons and you are working without any documents. Letting go Ketu will ensure that the sun tells you that you should not hold on to your ego, because the sun says that ego will help in speech, growth, and shine. The area where the sun is located seems difficult to hide. It remains a highlight for people. They are aware of that area. But when Ketu comes, it cuts off the glamour or whatever is super in that area. Again, feeling lost, but a deep thinker will tell you, you start thinking at a level, what is my real purpose? Why am I here? You will become philosophical. Physically, it can cause trouble, like giving problems in the eyes, causing issues in the hands, or even leading to surgeries in these body parts. The area where the sun is located is difficult to hide. It remains a highlight, and people are aware of that area. But when Ketu comes, it cuts off the glamour or whatever is super in that area. Again, feeling lost, but a deep thinker will definitely tell you. You start thinking at a level, what is my real purpose? Why am I here? You will become philosophical. Physically, it can cause trouble, like giving problems in the eyes, causing issues in the hands, or even leading to surgeries in these body parts. The moon symbolizes the mother and affects mind, travel, blame, cash flow, and sleep. Ketu's transit over the moon causes mental distress due to its soft nature and harsh energy. This may trouble the mother or cause. Because the moon is a very soft planet and harsh energy is emanating from it. This means that either the mother could face some kind of trouble, or there could be conflicts with your mother, or abrupt endings in relationships, and issues over certain topics may arise. What I'm seeing is a very prominent and clear indication to create a little distance from the world, like a sense of detachment. You might feel a sense of loneliness inside while doing everything, just going through the motions, but not really connected with anyone. Because until we connect with someone mentally, we can't truly connect. Remember that you will feel this more if there is a conjunction of the moon and Ketu in the chart, or if Ketu is in a trine with the moon. Your intuition will work better, and your psychic abilities will increase significantly. It feels like emotions are less, as if someone would talk more about emotional matters rather than just being straightforward. Understanding the person, say the world, is like this. That's how it is. Just focus on your work, and there's no need to get so attached to anyone. At that time, you will be seen giving such advice to people, more numb to oneself. Again, a decrease in personal emotions. Psychological struggles are an inner struggle, as the moon seeks experiences, but Ketu blocks them, similar to the sun representing the soul and the moon, the mind. Ketu causes confusion. The sun is our soul, the moon our mind. If there is weakness, then, of course, Ketu will show that disorientation because it makes you say that you don't care about anyone. We overlook that emotion. So it could be that the combination forming in that emotion is something you should consider. Become a little indifferent. Cyclicality will improve for a year, understanding others deeply. Just like there is intuitive ability, cyclical abilities are good. You exactly know why and what this person is saying, and you will understand the deep meaning of his words. Good for growth, but may cause anxiety. Use remedies to channel energy positively. Grandparents or parents might travel or change. That's one area you need to pay attention to. So, during that time, try to be a little more inclined towards remedies so that this energy can be used positively. This is the time when your maternal grandparents or parents might travel or experience changes in their lives. In life, what is Mars? Mars is like a brother, the second brother. It represents land and property, police, and defense. It has muscles, bedrooms, fighting ability, and a violent Mars. Plays a veto role in our chart. Ketu Mars is unfavorable. Sexual experiences will be blocked. This is not good. For sexual life, it definitely indicates that sexual experiences will be blocked. I just don't feel like doing it. This will be felt very strongly. Mars is ours because physical energy is vitality. So, there, Ketu is also saying, while making a cut that some physical work isn't happening, let's just sit and do something instead. Like you might have heard. You know, people say that they suddenly feel lethargic, and that could be because of this energy. Slow moving planets take their time to transit. They move from one sign or part to another. We meet a panel. Regardless of the Shiyostu, the Dasha is very important. It raises the intensity level. But you will hear people saying things like, I suddenly feel lethargic. Conflicts may arise. Watch for issues with siblings. In general, there could be some problems related to time with brothers or siblings. So watch out for that. In the Kalparush chart, Mars rules the first house, indicating immunity along with the sun. So this is the time when you have headaches, low immunity. Mars is also a significator of blood and senses. So you might encounter difficulties or problems in these areas. Rahu affects Mars in diplomacy, controlling. They were controlling the conversation, and we would talk while manipulating a bit. Ketu prevents them from becoming aggressive by telling them to just ignore it. There's no need to give it importance. But when the element is pushed too much, they explore it because these two energies are very exclusive. So, wherever this combination occurs, there is a probability of sudden closure or sudden endings. So, you really have to watch out for that. Mars relates to property, especially in terms of division, whether it's with siblings or land division. Because Ketu shows the cut, this could be about metal. Grandparents have Ketu, and they can buy property or land. Mercury is the sister of Mercury. It relates to education, friends, speech skills, throat, and commerce. The combination of Ketu with Mercury or Ketu with Mars is not considered very good because, just like the moon represents our mind, Mercury represents our thinking ability and intelligence. But Mercury and Ketu, a good Mercury is associated with Ketu. Ketu is telling you that this is the area that I have already covered. In most cases of CS, you will see the conjunction of Mercury. You will see this association because something they have already achieved in their life. Now, talking about Mercury, there will be a restlessness like what we call anxiety or nervous disorders because Mercury indicates the nerves. So, feeling restless, not feeling aligned on a mental level, facing challenges in relationships, whether with friends or siblings, or having some kind of problems with them. So, watch out for your relationships with your friends. It might feel weird in articulation. Because speaking is communication represented by Mercury, it can get blocked. It might not be clear or effective. The way of speaking can become very assertive and aggressive. For example, if Ketu is in the second house and it's with the Lord of the second house or with Mercury, it tends to cut off. They interrupt you during your talk. Where we were talking about Rahu, it mesmerizes, while Ketu just puts it off. Now, become a novice. Not having scattered thoughts, not being able to work in one place with 11 directions or with a purse. Do this now, do that now. In fact, they say that in March, with the Mercury combination, people tend to leave half of their work done, like 60 or 70%. Same goes with Ketu and Mercury. If the houses are not good, we will work with scattered thoughts. Mercury affects our expressions and thinking, leading to incoherent ideas and short memory. Mercury shows our thinking process. It affects expressions, ideas, and thinking, causing forgetfulness. Mercury talks about our expressions, ideas, and thinking ability. In that expression, they will become incoherent. Memory will become a bit short, and we will start forgetting things while talking. It will be less. It will be very good for research work. It will be very good for research work. If there is a good connection between Ketu and Mercury, then they naturally incline towards it. They will become a bit philosophical for research work. If Ketu wants to bring out something good from a planet, it will add philosophy to it. In education, there can be some changes. There might be a split personality because our thinking pattern at that time is weird or not aligned in one way. This note is that a one-track mind is not considered good for Mercury, as it leads to one-sided aesthetic perceptions. But in trust, they are very good aesthetically. Same goes with Ketu marker combination. Don't look at everything with logic. Seeing aesthetically will bring a new approach. It also shows the mastery of Ketu and Mercury. So I also like communication, accountancy, and analysis. You have done a lot more in your previous life. Then compare this life. It is believed that if you have a planet that is in a weak position, then you have used so much of that planet in your previous life. That's why you got a weak position. You don't need any more. That's why they refer to Mercury as Ketu. That is something where you have achieved mastery. Let's talk about strength. Jupiter shows us our own self. It represents valleys, noses, labels, temples, vistas, optimism, and guidance. First of all, because it is talking about ourselves, it means health issues, some kind of accident, cardiac surgery, or liver problems. The Ketu Jupiter combination is considered very good for pitch growth. But if it's Jupiter, it can also disrupt fate, like making the belief system unconventional, taking teachers into account, creating disturbances regarding learned things, religion, and the stomach, how will changes come in behavior. Because generosity is the work of Jupiter, it will either bring in an extreme nature or it will empty it out. Like not having any feelings of pity towards anyone at all. They bring up philosophical positivity. The Ketu Jupiter combination is considered very good for pitch growth. Jupiter's position brings blessings, wealth, and positive change. So this is the time. When you think of Coming out of the life and death cycle, you will receive blessings from the divine, and the special journey will be very good. But the reflection of Jupiter shows wealth, as well as issues related to suns. Jupiter is white self, so there doesn't seem to be any cut there. Why isn't there any problem coming up? Always watch out for what Venus is. Why is Wednesday considered a sister day? Luxury, wealth, love, intoxication, and married life, Ketu's association, isn't that bad? Because they have some dharma. But the association of Venus Ketu is not considered good. In this, first of all, there will be challenges in relationships with everyone, whether he is with his wife, and there will be problems with the lady friend sisters, especially regarding alliances, agreements, and partnerships, talking about breaking up, stopping, becoming indifferent, having issues with pleasures in life, or facing problems through the ladies. This could also happen. So if it does, so during this transit over Venus, I would definitely say that you shouldn't mess with the lady. She can be the one causing problems. Regarding love life, I've seen that these people can make sacrifices in relationships for accessories where you have become blind. You don't even realize how much you're spending. You are doing way too much out of necessity because Ketu's direction might be in that area of life where you are only facing disappointment. It feels like no one here understands me. I'm not getting anything. This love and pleasure definitely brings me one good thing. In Venus Ketu, I've noticed that these people believe that whenever they get married, it's a union of two souls rather than just bodily pleasures. So the connection is on a soul level rather than just physical. Rahul. Venus, which talks more about bodily desires, will lead to a static indifference and an impassioned approach. Whether it's the moon, Venus, both are planets. The more we look at someone and show it, an indifferent attitude will develop there. What will happen to health? There could be issues like a wife having a shoe problem or problems in the kidney and reproductive system. Removal of uterus, and because Ketu shows removal of something, so we can definitely talk about removal or surgery regarding that body part. Money is ours, and Venus is spending it for a special purpose, or there is a loss related to Saturn. What is Saturn? Saturn is time, constraints, karma, and chronic issues. It's all about chronic matters. It's a long lasting pessimism, hard work, diseases too. The social norms, which are governed by Saturn, operate according to society. We observe everyone. The social norms, duties, obligations, and responsibilities are all part of Dharma. What all Saturn shows, disagreeing with it, questioning it, or leaving it, means leaving work in between. That's why we don't view Ketu very positively in the context of Darshan, unless the 10th Lord is very strongly and well placed. So this is something we've been doing this in previous lives, and we are very good at it. It's a physical bonus. We can show disturbances and issues in relationships. Longevity is our Saturn, and there can also be some issues. At the workplace, like disputes, you will see strongly. Don't watch for this conflict at the workplace. Just leave a secure job. Ketu brings a lack of stability and can also cause aimless wandering. When they go over it or Saturn, so that's the time. If you have a job that is generally secure and you like your work, but Ketu is moving over Saturn, then it could be a troublesome year. You shouldn't leave a good job at that time. If you were trying to figure out when to leave this job and thinking about doing something new, then Ketu and Saturn could be that time. When you think outside the box and are able to leave that job which doesn't satisfy you, that's the influence of Ketu. Saturn and Ketu influence behavior. For spiritual transformation, Jupiter and Ketu are favorable, and Saturn and Ketu are beneficial. Spiritually, Jupiter, Ketu, and Saturn aid spiritual growth. Key planets with Ketu lead to a fruitful path. Saturn stresses action as Dharma. Those who are spiritually inclined have their ascendant, Lord, Moon, Saturn, or Jupiter in certain signs. and they are associated with Ketu. So their journey tends to be very productive. But the contrasting energy of Saturn and Ketu, again, what I've strongly felt is that Saturn talks about action, that action is Dharma. There, Ketu says to think about yourself because we need to grow spiritually, or it doesn't even tell us to think about anything. Ketu, Kira meets Rahu. Rahu wants Ketu Kina blocks, causing mixed outcomes. Ketu denies material growth, transformation, or new beginnings may occur. There will be a dual effect in life. It will turn for both good and bad. There will be a transformation, a reversal in life, or luck will shine, or it could be a time to start over, to start from scratch, a time for new beginnings. There can be some confusion between your spiritual world and the material world where you are, trying to balance between inner and outer realities. When Ketu meets itself, it will definitely bring spiritual growth. If this is the Ketu that has already achieved something, everything is happy Ketu and we will make it even happier. But this something, other compact by this Ketu, will bring more challenges. It will be a challenging time where you will start finding your soul purpose and the reason for existence. Why? Focus inward here and pay less attention to external achievements. It's about what I am really doing for myself. I hope you like this video. When transiting planets meet natal planets, a very strong energy is formed. This should never be cloned. Thank you so much, especially to the slow moving planets.